Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Okay. Just ahead of Moj, all of our guests today, sponsored by Passant Motors. Don't love your vehicle? Let Passant Motors help you get into one you do. There you go. The script was just fine. I didn't pre-read it. Broadcasting lesson 1. Learn more at Passant Motors, BASANT Motors.com. This is, I believe, Keith. Hockey players should not have crazy personalities, but they should have some. Donnie, the All-Star game was a bunch of dorks who thought they were too cool. These guys were so boring and Canadian. Have a limit on Canadians. It's pathetic. It's their nature. What a joke. Anti-Canadian rant. This one is, have you got Moj yet?
They're just wrapping up an interview, so 2 minutes.
Oh, well, we'll just stop the world for Bob.
So hold on a second. He's doing an interview?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
This is good. It's an early is it just me, but should the NHL increase the cash awards for the winning team and winning players in events? They've tried that in the past. But maybe add a fan favorite award for top personality, also with a large cash reward.
Just do anything. And I agree with that original
Some
text.
ideas out there.
That original text. Donnie, I'm not saying that they need to, be the ringleader at Barnum and Bailey Circus, if that's still going on.
Apparently you are the ringleader of the Barnum and Bailey Circus.
You can't smile? You can't have at least some personality?
Guys,
you
please
have
smile.
it. I know you have it. They're just choosing not to have it.
So, okay.
You don't want to look uncool.
If Dylan Larkin smiles, you're listening. You're watching.
But at least it looks like he wants to be there. Because why am I tuning in then if you don't want to be there?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Boom.
It's just this, they need to be more like the NBA and the NFL.
I don't think anybody says that.
They do so. They say it.
No.
We got Moj yet?
He just sat down.
My God, just the diva.
He was
Is he eating one of his 4 hamburgers?
He was just wrapping up an In-N-Out burger, I think.
So is he there or not?
He's here, yeah, he's here.
Okay.
Right.
Unbelievable.
First off, those 4 burgers were not mine. They were for the group.
I call BS. I call BS.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Go back in the back and start drinking more of your crowd, all right? And then come talk to me.
I call BS.
Okay, whatever. I'm not going to argue with you.
What? You actually put us on hold to do another interview?
Unbelievable.
Like the diva factor here is off the charts.
Hey, we just had Jim Everett, so I couldn't say. He was a lot of fun. We talked a lot about the quarterbacks in the game. So he's working with Bally Sports. So it's funny because our producer Mike Whittingham says he's doing some stuff with Bally Sports, and it's funny because Mike Whittingham, our producer, is like, you know what? I know what's going to happen. Jim's going to come over right before you're supposed to do your Donnie and Dolly hit because he was kind of busy. He said he'd come over, and lo and behold, he shows up right 10 minutes, I guess, before we're supposed to do the hit with you guys. So our apologies, but like I said, just a scheduling conflict.
And let me ask, let me guess, did you ask him about Jim Rome?
And we did at the end.
Beautiful.
Funny. We finished the interview. I said, you know what? I'd call you Chrissy, but I go, we're too old for that crap. And he just started to laugh. He's like, actually, he goes, we're never too old for that. And it's interesting because I said, he's kind of laughed it off and has a good time with it. And I said, did you ever talk to Rome after that? He said, no, never. Like, they never had any conversation. They never, patched things up, whatever. But yeah, so it was, he got a good chuckle out of it, though.
So it wasn't fake. Like, no, it wasn't staged or anything.
And for people that don't know, Rome was doing a sports talk show early in his career. It was a TV show. Yeah. And he kept calling Jim Everett Chrissy Everett after the tennis player. To his face. Yeah, to his face. And Jim said, you call me Chrissy one more time, I'm coming over the table. And away they went. And you can find it on YouTube and all that. So, yeah.
Chiefs,
but it's interesting it was interesting talking to him about, just very quickly, about how different the position of quarterback is now. He told me he's had 2 neck fusions. He's got a hip replacement.
Yeah.
He's just a mess physically. And a lot of it has to do with the punishment that the quarterbacks took in that generation compared to now, where you can't even, come within a 5-foot radius of them.
Did you hear what just happened here? Moj interrupted me. He shows up late for the interview.
Unbelievable.
Man, this is like old times.
Unbelievable.
It's perfect. Hey, how many Super Bowl 57? How many Super Bowls for Bob the Moj Marjanovich?
Well, since 2000, I've only missed one, and that was the year that missed 2, the COVID year, and then the one that my mom was sick and eventually passed away that spring. So if this is 23, I've now been to 22.
Wow.
Right? makes sense because there's 24 Super Bowls from 2000. So, yeah. So 22 out of the 24.
Very nice. Moj, Patrick Mahomes, the high ankle sprain, what are you hearing? What's the word down there on his mobility for Sunday's game?
Just got here, to be honest, and haven't really heard that much, but I think he's going to be ready to go, but he's not going to be 100% clearly. We saw that last week. And you know, with those ankle sprains, you talk to people about him, and it's just, man, he gets tweaked the wrong way. Who knows what happens? But as of now, haven't really heard that much on either team. We just got in last night, got to the facility here, the convention center this morning, so we'll pick up more news as it comes available during the week.
So you got Mahomes, some injuries at the receiver spot for the Chiefs. The Eagles' offense, not a lot of passing in the two playoff games. Could this be a low-scoring Super Bowl for you, Moj?
I don't know. It's interesting. We just talked to Everett about the two quarterbacks in the game, and like the over-under numbers on passing yardage. I think Mahomes is 299. He said take the under. Hurts 237. He took the over. So I think the quarterbacks are going to put up decent numbers. I don't think anybody's going to explode, and put up 350 or 400 or anything like that, but who knows? But when I look at this game, guys, the thing that really impresses me is the completeness of the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Chiefs have some flaws, perhaps maybe a little bit on the defensive side of the ball in certain areas, but I just think the Eagles are so solid everywhere, right? I mean, They don't really have a glaring weakness or weakness at all. So when it's all said and done, and that front that they have is absolutely ferocious. So I look at it this early, and this could change, because the really great thing about this week is you talk to so many people, and by Friday, you get a real educated opinion on what's happening in the game. So as of right now, though, if I had to pick Eagles, but you never know what happens during the course of the week, because we get so much great insight, and somebody brings up a point that you don't really think of, and all of a sudden now you're kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. So we'll see how it goes.
Moj, first time we've had you on since the Nathan Rourke to Jacksonville news broke. Also, I don't know if you can tie these two things together, but Amar Doman was on our show on Friday. Just your opinion of the 4 o'clock starts, the 4 o'clock kickoffs. The Lions are going to have 6 of them, and if they're going to be able to continue to build the momentum they built last year without Nathan Rourke.
Well, if you listen to Dollywall, 4 o'clock starts are great for me. I could probably eat more cheeseburgers after the game now. Yeah.
That is
correct. I think it's good in the sense that it allows people from outside the lower mainland to get to BC Place Stadium and enjoy the games. If you're coming in from the island, if you're coming in from the interior, whatever the case may be. So I think it's good. And, even the locals in Vancouver, Donnie, and I remember we talked about this when the Canucks had 4 o'clock starts. And I remember even you saying that, it's not bad, because now, you can go for dinner after, you can go back home, and you're not getting home at, 11 o'clock or midnight or 10:30 or whatever the case may be. So I think it's a win-win for everybody involved.
Hey, Moj, Saturday, you were at the Gino Ojic Celebration of Life. A lot of former Canucks there. Also, George McPhee was there. Nice speech. Tell us about that evening for Gino.
Yeah, it was out at Musqueam in one of the gymnasiums there. I want to say probably 200 people, 250, 300, somewhere in there. And a lot of people spoke, but I think George McPhee, who flew up from Vegas for the event, and for those that don't know, George was with the Canuck organization in the early 90s as a lieutenant under Pat Quinn. And George spoke very eloquently, and he was very emotional. And he said that, a lot of guys that he had played with or played against had passed, but this was the first player that he had signed or been part of signing that had passed. And for him, it was really an emotional event. And he went up and spoke to the audience, and he brought up a water bottle, and there were times where he couldn't continue, and he took a sip out of the water bottle. After the third time, he kind of made a little joke. He said, "This is the reason I brought this up here, because I knew I was going to have difficulty getting through this." And very emotional, very poignant tribute from George McPhee, and just a class act to come all the way up from Vegas for the event. And it was very well done. And big shout out to Chief Wayne Sparrow from Musqueam, and of course Peter Leach, good friend of Gino's. They did a tremendous job, and others as well, in terms of having the celebration of life.
Moj, where can people access your Super Bowl work?
Okay, mojonsports.com. We are also going to be on Bloomberg 1410 at night. And also we've got a ton of stuff. We've got Nick Kowalski with the Lions social media team with us. And he is doing everything on Twitter. He's doing everything on Instagram. You can check all that out at The Real Moj, both on Twitter and on Instagram.
Coach, we'll get you back on. Thanks so much for this, buddy.
Are we going to do this Friday, or are you going to phone me in another 6 months, Taylor?
Well, no.
Whoa!
Hey, listen. Henderson's in
at
charge.
least Dollywall returns his phone calls.
Damn right
I
do.
returned the call. That's why you're on the show today. Henderson is in charge. And, Moj, this just in, Ryan's also now in charge of the NHL All-Star Game.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? So,
Yeah.
watch the show. It'll make sense, okay?
All right.
Thanks,
Buddy. Guys, have a good one.
Appreciate it. Bob Marjanovich down there, Super Bowl 57, Chiefs and Eagles Sunday.